There was a woman named Grace, who was always full of joy and positivity. Everywhere she went, she would spread happiness and laughter to everyone around her. Her friends were always amazed by her infectious energy and often asked her why she was so happy all the time. One day, her friends asked her if she ever felt sad or down. Grace replied, "Of course, I'm human too, and I have my fair share of difficult moments." Her friends were surprised to hear this because they had never seen her sad or upset. Grace then revealed her secret to staying positive. She told them about her sad jar. Whenever she felt down, discouraged, or overwhelmed, she would write down what was making her feel that way on a piece of paper and put it in her sad jar. She explained that by writing it down and physically putting it in the jar, it allowed her to let go of those negative feelings and focus on the positive. It also gave her the opportunity to reflect on the issue and find solutions to the problem. Her friends were amazed by this simple yet powerful technique. They started using the sad jar themselves, and soon they too found themselves feeling more positive and joyful. They began to notice the small things in life that brought them happiness and started to appreciate them more. Grace's positivity and outlook on life were contagious, and her friends were grateful for her influence in their lives. They realized that happiness was not something that just happened, but rather it was a choice they could make every day. Years went by, and Grace continued to spread her positivity and joy to everyone she met. She lived a full and happy life, always finding the beauty in everything and inspiring others to do the same. Her sad jar remained a constant reminder to let go of negativity and focus on the good in life. One day, a lady named Maria was walking on the street, minding her own business, when a thief attempted to steal her purse. The thief was determined to take the purse, and in the struggle, Maria fell to the ground and was injured. The thief managed to take the purse and run away, but was eventually caught by the police. The thief was brought to court, and Maria was present to testify against him. The thief was facing a serious charge of theft and assault. Maria was called to the stand, and she shared her experience of the traumatic event. She described the pain she felt when she fell and the fear she experienced during the struggle. To everyone's surprise, instead of seeking revenge or justice, Maria did something unexpected. She asked the judge if she could speak directly to the thief. The judge agreed, and the thief was brought closer to Maria. With tears in her eyes, Maria looked at the thief and said, "I forgive you." The thief was taken aback and didn't know how to respond. Maria continued, "I know that you stole from me, and I was hurt. But I don't want to hold on to that anger and bitterness. I choose to forgive you and pray for you, that you may find a better path in life." The courtroom was silent as Maria's words hung in the air. The thief was visibly moved and started to cry. He apologized to Maria and promised to change his ways. The judge was so touched by Maria's act of kindness that he reduced the thief's sentence. He commended Maria for her forgiveness and compassion, which was a rare sight in the courtroom. Maria's act of forgiveness inspired many people who heard her story. She showed that forgiveness is a powerful tool that can heal wounds and mend broken relationships. She also demonstrated that even in the darkest moments, we can choose to show compassion and love to those who hurt us. Once upon a time, there were two cups. One was half full, and the other was full to the brim with water. These two cups were very different from each other, and each had a unique perspective on life. The cup that was half full saw the world as a place of scarcity. It was always worried about running out of water and never having enough to sustain itself. It lived in constant fear of being empty, and this fear consumed its every thought and action. On the other hand, the cup that was full to the brim saw the world as a place of abundance. It knew that it had more than enough water to sustain itself, and it was always overflowing with generosity and kindness. It saw every opportunity as a chance to share its abundance with others, and it was always eager to help those in need. One day, a wise old sage came across these two cups and saw their differing perspectives on life. He approached them and asked why they had such different attitudes towards the world. The cup that was half full explained, "I am afraid of running out of water. I feel like I never have enough, and I'm always worried about going dry." The sage nodded, then turned to the cup that was full to the brim and asked, "And what about you? Why are you so generous and overflowing with abundance?" The cup replied, "I know that I have more than enough water to sustain myself, and I want to share my abundance with others. I believe that when I give freely, I will always be refilled with more than enough." The sage smiled and said, "My dear cups, you both hold valuable lessons. The cup that is half full teaches us to be grateful for what we have, to recognize that even in times of scarcity, we still have enough to sustain ourselves. The cup that is full teaches us the power of generosity, the idea that when we give freely, we receive even more in return." And so, the two cups learned from each other and from the wise sage. The cup that was half full learned to see the world as a place of abundance, and the cup that was full to the brim learned to be grateful for what it had. Together, they became symbols of balance and harmony, a reminder that in life, it is not just about what we have, but also about how we see and share it. Once upon a time, in a small town, there were two elementary school baseball teams. The teams had been practicing for weeks and were excited to compete against each other. The game was intense, and both teams played their hearts out. As the game ended, the winning team jumped for joy, while the losing team was left feeling sad and disappointed. The losing team had tried their best, but it just wasn't enough to win the game. The winning team noticed how sad the losing team was and realized that winning wasn't everything. They knew how it felt to lose and wanted to comfort their opponents. They walked over to the losing team, offered their hands, and congratulated them on playing a great game. To their surprise, the losing team was grateful for their sportsmanship and kindness. The teams started talking, and before they knew it, they were all laughing and joking around like they had been friends for years. The winning team suggested that they should all go and grab some ice cream together to celebrate the game, and the losing team agreed. They went to the ice cream parlor, sat at a big table, and enjoyed their ice cream while chatting about their favorite baseball players and other interests. As they left the ice cream parlor, the two teams exchanged phone numbers and promised to keep in touch. They realized that the game was just a game, and making friends was what really mattered. In the following weeks, the teams continued to practice, but something had changed. They were no longer just two separate teams. They were one big team that was passionate about baseball and friendship. They learned that winning wasn't everything and that sportsmanship and kindness were just as important. In the end, the two teams learned a valuable lesson about friendship, kindness, and sportsmanship. They had made new friends and created memories that they would never forget. The game may have been over, but the bond that they had formed would last a lifetime. Once there was a young boy who didn't take very good care of his belongings. His pencils were often broken, his toys were missing pieces, and his books were torn and worn. Despite his parents' constant reminders to take care of his things, he would often forget or simply not care. One day, as he was sitting at his desk, he noticed something strange happening. His pencil suddenly came to life and started speaking to him. The pencil told him that it was hurt when he didn't take good care of it and that it needed to be sharpened regularly. The boy was shocked and didn't know what to say. He had never heard his pencil speak before. Then, he noticed that all of his other belongings had also come to life, including his toys and books. They all started speaking to him, telling him how they felt hurt and neglected when he didn't take good care of them. The boy felt terrible. He had never realized how much his belongings meant to him and how much they needed to be taken care of. He felt ashamed and apologetic, and he promised that from that day on, he would take better care of his things. He started to sharpen his pencils regularly, put his toys away neatly in their boxes, and treated his books with care. He also started to appreciate his belongings more, realizing how lucky he was to have them. Over time, the boy's things started to look better and last longer. His pencils didn't break as often, his toys stayed in good condition, and his books didn't have any more tears or missing pages. He felt proud of himself and grateful for his belongings. From that day on, the boy continued to take good care of his things. He learned that taking care of his belongings not only made them last longer but also made him appreciate them more. He knew that his things were not just objects, but valuable possessions that he needed to cherish and protect.